Hello, I am Alan. Try imagining a peaceful Sunday morning, sunlight filtering through the curtains. You're sitting by the porch enjoying a steaming hot cup of coffee. Everything is perfect until you step into the bathroom, pick up the comb, and sigh softly when seeing the strands of hair left on it. That heart tightening feeling. I understand. And trust me, it's not just your story alone. It reminds me of Margaret, a close neighbor of mine in Ohio. She was once very proud of her thick hair in youth, but lately she's reluctant to attend her granddaughter's wedding just because she feels the crown is sparse, making her look older. She confided in me something that made me think a lot. She feels like she's becoming invisible in family photos. Have you ever wondered why we can spend hours at Costco choosing the best skincare cream, but accidentally ignore the weak SOS signals from our hair? Today, brew a bit more coffee and sit down here with me. We won't talk about dry theoretical stuff. We'll talk about hope. Let's go to the end of this story together because I'll reveal to you who the hidden enemy really is and how you can regain the radiance you deserve. Do you remember the feeling when planting a favorite tree in the backyard, soil and watering sufficient, but the tree still stunted and not growing? Our hair sometimes is like that. Margaret, the friend we met in the previous part, once confided in me that she feels like her hair roots are sleeping forgotten. And actually, she touched right on the issue. Today, let's sit down together and talk about this hidden enemy. In our body, there's a hormone called testosterone. It's like raw fuel, but when it meets a catalyst enzyme named 5-alpha reductase, sounds a bit technical, but be patient with me, it's very important. It will transform into a substance many times stronger called dihydrotestosterone, or DHT for short. The problem is, our women's hair follicles, especially the crown and center part, Ida, are extremely sensitive to this DHT guy. I have a neighbor friend named Susan, 55 years old, a retired teacher living enjoying the warm sun in Florida. One day at the hair salon, the familiar stylist asked subtly, "Have you changed shampoo lately? Why does your part look a bit wider like this?" That casual question made Susan melancholy. But I told Susan, and now I tell you, that's not the shampoo's fault. That's DHT at work. It clings to the hair follicle and sends signals making the follicle shrink. This process is called miniaturization. The result is new growing strands, thinner, shorter, and paler, until they look just like thin, faint fuzz. Have you ever wondered if genetics from parents decide everything, or is there something else happening silently that you can control? Actually, although DHT is the main factor, how the body reacts to it is another story. I want you to understand that this isn't your fault for poor care. It's a natural biological change, like the seasons changing leaves. If you see yourself in Susan's story, or simply want to understand your body better to love it properly, please hit the subscribe button now. We'll together find solutions, because hope is always ahead. But DHT doesn't act alone. There's another factor, an invisible storm, that even when you're relaxing, preparing for Thanksgiving dinner, or worrying for your daughter, it can still come and aid this process. What is it? We'll explore together right after this. If the story about DHT is a silent underground flow we just discussed, then what I want to share right after this is like an unexpected storm coming. Who among us hasn't gone through sleepless nights worrying about bills, children, or a partner's health? I remember Linda, a family friend of mine living in Texas. Last year was a really tough year for her. Her husband just underwent major heart surgery, and at the same time, her daughter is going through divorce proceedings. One afternoon, Linda stopped by my house, her hand lightly stroking her hair, and sadly saying that her hair is falling out in handfuls every time she washes it. She simply thought it was due to age, but actually, that's a condition science calls telogen effluvium, when the hair growth cycle is suddenly interrupted. Your body is really very smart. When you're extremely stressed, like sleepless nights, anxious about health insurance or retirement plans, your body produces a hormone called cortisol. Imagine your body like a house facing a big storm. The electrical system will pour all energy into the most important devices for survival, like heart, lungs, brain, and have to cut power to decorative things consuming energy like the chandelier in the yard, which is your hair. Hair isn't essential to keep life, so it's the first thing cut in that emergency situation. Stress burns our reserve energy very fast. So after that storm, how are we replenishing energy? Our hasty lunches or daily eating habits accidentally aiding hair loss without you knowing? Let's go into the kitchen to find the answer. Recall the last time you went to the supermarket on the weekend, maybe Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. You pushed the cart full of greens, kale, fresh salad boxes because you want to maintain shape and care for health. I have a friend named Brenda, 52 years old, living under the brilliant golden sun of California. She's the model of a healthy lifestyle, yoga every morning, and only salad for lunch. Outwardly, Brenda is great, but she has a private concern. Her hands and feet are always cold even when the weather is warm. And every morning brushing hair, she feels heartbroken when hair falls out more, becoming dry and damaged. Brenda thought she was doing everything right, but actually her hair follicles are crying for help because of hunger. Our hair, like a busy construction site, needs a lot of materials, especially iron, or more specifically ferritin, the body's iron reserve. Iron helps carry oxygen to nourish each hair cell. At age 50 and up, although many of us no longer lose iron through monthly cycles, the body's absorption ability changes. When you diet too strictly or focus only on greens without quality protein, the body will prioritize oxygen for heart, brain, and cut supply to the least important place, which is your hair. But here's what surprises Brenda, and perhaps you too. Do you have the habit of enjoying a hot cup of tea or coffee right after that healthy lunch? This seemingly harmless and relaxing habit accidentally prevents the body from absorbing iron, making your eating efforts wasted for the hair. Zinc and vitamin D are the same. They like diligent builders helping hair anchor firmly to the scalp. If lacking this team, hair will easily leave you. My small advice for you: don't just eat plain salad. Squeeze a bit more lemon or eat with a few orange segments, because vitamin C is the good friend helping the body receive iron easier. And try to patiently wait about an hour after meals before drinking tea or coffee. We just talked about things you might be deficient in on the dining table, but what about things you're taking in too much without knowing? There's a sweet enemy full of temptation silently causing internal inflammation and harming your hair every day, something we often reward ourselves with in late afternoons. Those weekend BBQ parties in the backyard, when the rich sauce aroma spreads from the grill and in our hands is a cool soda glass, or the feeling of walking past a bakery in the morning, the fragrant baking smell irresistibly tempting. I know that feeling. It's really comfortable and full of hometown flavor. But there's a truth few tell us over morning coffee. Your hair follicles really fear those sweet things. This reminds me of Karen, a 60-year-old friend living in Georgia. Karen loves those afternoons sitting on the porch with traditional sweet tea and baked goods. She once confided in me worriedly that her hair is falling out much more, and she thought it was simply due to age. However, when the doctor warned about blood sugar indicators and metabolic syndrome, she realized studies have shown a close link between insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and hormonal hair loss. When we consume too much sugar, the body not only produces more insulin, but also falls into a chronic inflammatory state. Imagine inflammation like a smoldering fire inside the body. When the body is busy putting out the fire caused by excess sugar and insulin, it will disrupt growth signals, making hair follicles shrink and weaken. Have you ever wondered, why do I use expensive shampoo but hair still thins after comfortable holiday eating periods? That might be when this silent saboteur is at work. But don't worry too much. I'm not here to tell you to give up all eating joys. I just want you to understand your body better. If sugar is the troublemaker causing inflammation, then nature has prepared wonderful mediators to extinguish that fire. Are you curious to know how a tiny seed we often throw away after Halloween can be a powerful savior helping balance everything? That secret is right in the next part. If this helped, comment, "I'm ready for healthier hair." If sugar and inflammation are the silent troublemakers we just discussed, then nature always has wonderful mediators ready, sometimes right in your kitchen. This reminds me of cool autumn afternoons when the roasted pumpkin seed aroma spreads throughout the house after we clean up the decorative pumpkins for Halloween. Have you ever thought that the solution for hair could lie right in the things we often accidentally discard after each holiday season? Diane's story, a 54-year-old friend living in Oregon, is the clearest proof of this power. Diane is a nature lover. She spends whole weekends tending her organic garden and always wary of strong chemical drugs. When noticing her hair thinning, instead of panicking, turning to artificial therapies, she turned back to roots. And Diane started adding pumpkin seeds to her lunch salad and using saw palmetto extract, a herb famous for men's health but a secret weapon for us women. Why these two seeds? The secret lies in a natural compound called phytosterol, especially beta-cytosterol. Imagine your hair follicle like a house, and hormone DHT is a stranger wanting to sneak in to sabotage. The enzyme 5-alpha reductase is the key opening the door for DHT to enter. The nutrients in pumpkin seeds and saw palmetto act like smart glue. They stick to that key, preventing it from opening the door. Thus, the conversion process to DHT is naturally interrupted, helping your hair follicles breathe and recover without rough intervention. Diane shared with me that the best feeling isn't just seeing baby hair starting to grow after a few months, but the peaceful feeling knowing she's nourishing her body with the purest things from Earth. But hold on, Our journey to regain thick, healthy hair doesn't stop at these dry seeds. There's another type of oil also extremely important that many of us women have accidentally forgotten, even avoided for many years because of the unjust fear of weight gain. Can you guess what it is? That's the next key to unlock the radiant beauty I'm eager to share with you right after this. In the 90s, do you still remember when we walked down supermarket aisles and saw everything labeled low fat or fat free? We once believed removing fat from meals is the best way to be healthy. Nancy, a friend of mine living in Windy, Maine, also believed that. She told me her kitchen cabinet was once full of fat-free cookies, but ironically, her skin and hair became increasingly dry like winter leaves. The fact is, your hair is thirsty for fat, but the right kind of fat, or essential fats that the body can't produce itself. I'm talking about omega-3, the silent heroes abundant in salmon, mackerel, flax seeds, or walnuts. Imagine omega-3 like deep moisturizing from inside, helping nourish cell membranes and keep your scalp from drying or inflaming. Even more interesting, and some studies have shown that these unsaturated fatty acids can support inhibiting the enzyme 5-alpha reductase, which is the switch activating DHT we discussed at the beginning, meaning a grilled salmon dinner isn't just delicious but also silently protecting your hair roots from shrinking. However, our modern American diet often contains too much omega-6 from processed vegetable oils, causing imbalance and leading to silent inflammation in the body, which is extremely unfavorable for hair. Have you ever wondered if just eating is enough, or do we need to do something more decisive to regain this balance? And is the fat makes you fat a fear that's prevented you from having shiny, healthy hair all this time? Nancy started changing with very small things. I like adding flax seeds to her morning oatmeal bowl, or replacing corn oil with olive oil. She told me the change doesn't come overnight, but gradually, she sees her hair having shine and vitality that she hasn't met in many years. But when talking about nourishing hair, we can't not mention the shelves full of supplements at CVS or Walgreens. Everyone whispers about biotin as a miracle, but what's the truth behind those sweet gummy vitamins? Are we expecting too much? Let's find the answer right now. Standing in front of the vitamin shelf at Walgreens or Walmart, have you ever felt overwhelmed? Hundreds of bottles with promises to return radiant youth. It reminds me of Patricia, a 51-year-old energetic friend living in New York. During a shopping trip at CVS, she was attracted by the gummy bottles and hair growth pills advertised rampantly. Patricia bought all kinds home to use, hoping her hair would thicken like before. But after 2 months, her hair not only didn't change, but she also broke out with a lot of acne around her chin. The truth is, biotin deficiency is really rare in people with normal diets. Our bodies need biotin, yes, but we often get enough through eggs, nuts, and meat. When your body already has enough biotin, adding 5,000 or 10,000 micrograms from supplements often doesn't help hair grow faster, but sometimes causes unnecessary troubles like Patricia's case. But here's the most important thing I want you to note, especially at this age when we regularly have health checks. High-dose biotin supplementation can distort your blood test results, including important indicators about thyroid and cardiovascular. Imagine your doctor might misdiagnose just because of a beauty vitamin bottle. That's really scary, right? Hair is actually mainly composed of keratin, a hard protein, not built from biotin. So instead of spending money on expensive bottles that may not be effective, focus on a diet rich in protein and good fats we discussed. If you like this raw but helpful truth, please leave a comment, "Great hair," below. And if this video helps you save even a little money at the pharmacy, give me a like so I know you're listening. So if supplements aren't the only miracle and we've done everything right from eating to reducing stress, when will we see results? Are we being too impatient? The answer lies in the hair strand's biological clock we'll look at right after this. We've just stepped out of the pharmacy with promising vitamin bottles, but I know sometimes in your heart there's still a simmering impatience. We're living in the era of Amazon Prime, right? You click order today and expect the package right at the door tomorrow morning. But our miraculous biological body doesn't operate at the speed of fast delivery. This reminds me of Carol, a friend living in sunny Arizona state. Carol is 59 this year and excited preparing for a cruise to Alaska with her husband next summer. She started using a popular topical medicine, minoxidil, to support hair growth. But after just 2 weeks, Carol called me, her voice full of disappointment. "I'm going to quit. Nothing changed at all. Every morning I look in the mirror and everything is still the same." Do you see yourself in Carol's story? Have you ever marked a day on the wall calendar, hoping for miracles before a wedding party or family reunion, only to feel disappointed? The truth is, your hair is like a hibernating garden. When you start caring, the seeds below need time to accumulate energy, break the shell, and reach the surface. Scientific studies have shown that with treatment therapies, we often need at least 3 to 6 months to see clear changes. The dormant hair follicles need time to shift back to growth phase. If you give up in week 3 or month 2, you might be stopping right before the miracle begins. Don't let impatience rob you of the fruits you've painstakingly cared for. This journey isn't just about restoring hair, but also learning to cherish yourself every day. And when talking about that cherishing, I want to send you the final confiding words. The most important thing to wrap up our entire story. Look out the window. The sun is gradually setting, dyeing the backyard golden. Another day passes. This quiet atmosphere makes me feel truly peaceful, and I hope you're feeling the same after our long conversation. Do you still remember Margaret, the neighbor friend I told at the beginning? Last week, she stopped by and excitedly showed me the photo taken at her granddaughter's wedding. In the photo, she smiled radiantly, hugging the kids tightly. Her hair is much healthier after 6 months of persistent lifestyle changes, from adding pumpkin seeds to the menu, controlling stress storms, to patiently caring for each hair follicle. But the most wonderful thing I see isn't just the thicker hair, but her confident eyes. She no longer avoids the lens or feels invisible. She has truly been present and fully enjoyed the happy moment with family. That's also what I wish for you. We've together gone through a long journey, exposing the hidden thieves from hormones to stress and finding healing power from our own kitchen. But please remember, your beauty doesn't just lie in the hair. True radiance comes from the joy of living, from internal health, and from knowing to love. Be patient with yourself every day. Thank you for taking precious time to sit here, drink a cup of coffee with me, and listen to these shares. If you feel warmed and helpful, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to not miss the next conversations. Your support means a lot to me. I am Alan, your neighbor. Take good care of yourself because you deserve all the best things. Goodbye, and see you again.